All right, welcome back to our series. It is frequently asked questions for new and aspiring TCs. And this question is, so where exactly do I find customers? If that's something you've ever asked, don't be surprised when you're in this business 3, 4, 5 years from now if you're still asking that question, okay? It'll change for you. And why? The answer to that question is going to vary based on a couple different things. Number one, are you new in the business and you're looking for your very first client and you have zero real estate experience? Are you new as an independent transaction coordinator and you are trying to do your first transaction as an independent transaction coordinator, but you actually have quite a bit of background. You've been working as an independent transaction coordinator on a real estate team for years. You've closed hundreds or thousands. That may look different to gain your first couple clients than it does someone who just came in the business who has never closed a transaction ever. So where did they each find business? That may look different for each. Now, what about the third person? How about you've been an independent transaction coordinator for 3 years now, and you're looking to grow your business. Now, you want to grow your business, but you have to also know that there's natural attrition. Whether we like to talk about it or not, there is natural attrition in this business. You are going to gain clients, and I guarantee you, you're going to lose clients. You're not going to lose them because you're no good at your job. You're not going to lose them because it's a bad fit. You're not going to lose them because they decide to fire you. You're going to lose them because people come and go in this business. People not only will go ahead and leave this business altogether, but they're using you, and all of a sudden, how many agents will you ever meet? Say they've been in the business 10 years that haven't been with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different brokers. If they've been in the business long enough, they may have been with a half a dozen to a dozen different brokers. People switch brokers all the time, and they may be working with you. They switch to another broker, and that broker, actually part of the service, they provide full admin support. I don't care how much they love you. They just moved to another broker that they basically were able to reduce their overhead because they got full support. They actually were a solo agent and they joined a team, and that team has admin support. So understand, you're going to lose business, and it has nothing to do about whether they love you or don't love you. We will lose business through natural attrition. So even if you've been in this business 3, 4, 5 years, you're still going to still have to figure out, where am I going to get more business? Because even to stay equal, you always have to be lead generating. You always have to be looking for someone else to work with, because eventually someone else is going to leave. Now, if you're brand new to the business, I'm going to tell you one thing that I'm going to suggest for lead gen that I know a lot of people and a lot of TC coaches don't like my recommendation on this, and I don't care. You got to do what's going to work for you. So I'm not telling you this is the way to do it. I'm telling you that this is something that I'm willing to do. There will be some TCs that are okay cold calling, and they will cold call agent after agent after agent after agent. They will cold call on brokerages and see if there are any agents in that brokerage to work with and that are willing to meet with you. I'm telling you right now, that is a lead source. It's not one I enjoy, so it's probably not one I'm going to do. What will I do? I'll bet on me. All day long, I will bet on me. And how do I bet on me? I'll do 3 for free. Now, am I going to advertise that? Am I going to promote that? Am I going to throw that in newsletters and up on advertisements on Facebook and everything else like that? No. Okay? But if I can create any conversation with agents, and I believe with all my heart that we would be a great partnership. We would work well together, but I just can't seem to close the deal. I just can't get them to work with me, okay? Do you really believe that this is going to be a good client for you? And do you really believe that you're the right person for them? If you really believe that with all of your heart, why wouldn't you be willing to do 3 transactions with them and say, why don't we do this? I believe with all my heart, literally with all my heart, I believe this is going to be a good fit. And you know what? I'm willing to bet on it. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do our first 3 transactions? I'll do them for free. And here's why I want to do them for free. That'll give us time to make sure that we both agree that this is a good fit. It'll give us both time to learn how to communicate with each other. It'll give us both time to really learn proper levels of expectation about what I will own and what you as an agent will own. Nobody does anything in a transaction. You either own that or you don't. There are certain things in a transaction as a transaction coordinator I own. I don't just do them, I own them. I will claim ownership of them. But there's a couple things in the transaction I don't own. Now, based on your level of service, what you own and what you don't want to own may look different than another TC, and that's okay. But here's the thing is, why is it 3? Why is it always 3? And I'm telling you why I would do this after this, but why is the number always 3? Because I think 3 is going to give you both a very good impression what it's really like to work together. If you just do 1 with them, let's just be real honest. If it is the worst transaction that's ever existed, it's horrible. And the only reason why it closed is because of you. You were the rock star. It's the only reason why it closed. You would think that they would think the world of you. But don't assume that that's how that works. If it is the worst transaction that anybody's ever worked on, and the only reason why it closed is because of your skills, your talents, your tenacity, and you are the one that actually got this through to closing, the fact is it was still a horrible transaction and still going to leave a negative taste in someone's mouth. Don't assume that that might not be your agent. It was just a horrible experience. That's the taste that might still be left in their mouth. Now, if that's one transaction, I don't want to be judged on that. Number 2, the second transaction comes along, and it's seriously the easiest transaction that's ever existed. It almost closed itself. You felt like you didn't really do anything, and guess what? The agent kind of felt like you didn't do anything either. And they're thinking, gosh, dang, I could have closed that one myself. I don't really know that I need that service. You know, that was the easiest transaction I've ever worked with, and I paid $400, $500, $300, whatever your fees are as an independent. I paid $400 for that. What a waste of money. Okay. And then you do a third transaction. What I'm saying is after 3 transactions, there's enough variety there that I think you both get an honest feeling what it's like to work together and whether this is going to be a good fit and whether they feel that they're getting their money's worth. Are you really bringing real value for what you're charging? Are you worth partnering with? So 3 for free. Okay. So other things, let's just go ahead and dive into a bunch. I'm just going to hit that one because it's one that I think not enough people talk about. And a lot of people will say, never give away and never do anything for free. You have to know your worth. Okay, understand that there is personal worth and there is professional worth. They're not one and the same. We got to grow up and understand that these are not equals. Your personal worth as a human being, I love you, everybody loves you. You are amazing. You are crazy, crazy amazing. Your personal worth is huge. But that doesn't mean your professional worth is worth a hill of beans at this point. Okay? To that agent, you don't have any professional worth yet. Now, for me, I'm going to say I'm okay with them saying I don't have any professional worth to them. I know my worth. My worth is nothing to them right now. Now, I am willing to, this is the key phrase, bet on me. What is me? My level of service, my level of communication, my level of professionalism, my level in developing and putting together systems that will blow their minds. I'm willing to bet on me. So here's the big question. Okay, so I do 3 for free. Someone else says, I will never give anything away for free. I guarantee you that within a 6-month period, if I found 3 agents that didn't say yes to me, but they agreed to do 3 for free, that by the end of that 6 months, I will have more agents working with me and I will have more files in my pipeline than the average person who is going to cold call for the next 6 months. Now, if you're amazing at cold calling, take everything I just said and throw it out the window because you are a freak of nature. God bless you. Go get them. Okay? But don't just give everything away for free and tell everybody off the bat 3 for free. Okay? But if you're talking to them and selling yourself and everything else like that, and you believe it's a good fit and they're not pulling the trigger on you, you might want to consider that. Okay? So what are some other ways? You could do 3 for free. You could do cold calling. You could actually cold call and just call agents. You could actually go to their open houses. I've seen actual TCs do that and develop great relationships because sometimes the open house is empty and so they sit and they talk with people for a while and they follow up with them and they build real relationships. Next one, visit broker offices. I know some TCs that actually go with their entire information pack cards, little gifts and all this other kind of stuff, and actually they build a relationship with the person at the front desk and the broker, and from there they start getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into that brokerage. Eventually they're actually doing the broker meetings. The broker is having a meeting, whether it's once a week, whether it's once a month, twice a month, and you're actually the one that's actually getting 5 minutes at every single one of those broker meetings. Everybody's getting to know you. Can you do it that way? Absolutely, you can do it that way. I actually don't mind doing those. I don't mind going in front of the brokerage and talking to them and everything else like that. And I don't need them to give me 15 minutes or half an hour. I can be effective in 5. Now, that's a different conversation. How are you effective if you only get 5 minutes? How are you effective if you only get 15 minutes? Totally different conversation, but know that that is one way to lead gen. You can do trade shows. I won't go real deep into that, but a lot of the TCs, if you go into a lot of the TC groups on Facebook, you'll see a lot of them a couple times a year are doing actual trade shows where there are mortgage companies, there are lenders, there are title companies, all that kind of stuff, and you're one of them that's there as well. Social media. I'm going to just say this. I think everybody wants to bank on social media. I treat my social media as my passive. You have active lead gen and you have passive lead gen. Active lead gen, passive lead gen. Okay, my passive is there to support my active. So if I do something active and I actually connect with people, I actually talk to people, I assume that once they're done talking to me that they're going to go check me out online. And I have to ask myself what I have online on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on my website. Does it support what I was trying to accomplish in my active? You can do newsletters, you can do social media, all that kind of stuff. Now, for me, if you are an experienced agent, number one source of business, in my opinion, and I'm pretty hardcore about this, should be the co-op agent. Hardcore, it should be the co-op agent. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get some business from the co-op agent. As far as I'm concerned, sales is about 2 things. It's not about always be closing and always be asking for the sale. That kind of stuff makes me want to throw up hearing that kind of stuff. My version of sales is this, is build real relationships and provide a freakish level of service. If I do those 2 things, I have a pretty good chance in earning, that's the key word, earning the right to ask for the business. I don't just ask for the business and always be closing. I do what it takes to earn the right to ask for the business. How do I do that? By building a relationship, providing freakish levels of service. Now, how do you provide freakish levels of service to someone who hasn't agreed to work with you? Stop hiding behind your email and your templates and all of your systems and tools and everything else like that, and actually build a relationship with the agent on the other side of the transaction. They are stuck with you whether they want to be or not for the next 4 to 6 weeks. If we can't develop a relationship with someone in 4 to 6 weeks, how in the world do you think that you're able to do that in 1 to 2 minutes on a cold call? All day long, I will bet on me in that being able to develop that relationship in 4 to 6 weeks versus 2 minutes. I will bet on me that after 4 to 6 weeks, they will be blown away with what they experience in me. I'm betting on me and that relationship with the co-op agent. And then there's a whole process that I do after the closing as well that continues that relationship. And ask yourself this, how do I provide value to the agents after closing, the co-op agents? Okay, I can do a whole nother video about that. But then vendors, your compliance manager. If you ever get a compliment from a compliance manager at a broker and go, gosh, I wish every agent was required to use you because I wish every agent would submit files as cleanly and as organized as you do. Okay, let me ask you this question. You've complimented me like 4 times like that. Let me ask you this. Who are the top 2 agents that you love? You love them, you adore them, but their files are ridiculous. Who do you wish was actually having their files organized by me? Who should I be talking to? Okay, you develop those relationships. You can do that with a compliance manager. You can do that with a lender. You know how many garbage files lenders get? And they compliment us TCs all the time about how great our files are once they've worked with us a number of times. What about closers? What about attorneys? What about title companies? Okay, all of those vendors work with agents that have ridiculous files. Build relationships. Build relationships and provide a freakish level of service? What about referrals from your existing agents? Okay, if they're not proud to talk about you, I would question, is there something you need to be changing there? In your relationship with them, in your service, your predictability, your consistency, all of those types of things. You should be getting referrals from your other agents. What about trade shows? Teaching classes. That's another place that I know that some TCs actually get some good business on, is they actually teach classes at different brokerages. Now, I'm not going to dive in too deep here because this is getting too long already. What are the classes that they teach and everything? But they teach classes at brokerages, broker meetings, and then obviously the passive social media, newsletters, everything else like that. So in the Cultivate Wins, the TC support membership, which is $12 a month, we have a lead gen section that this video will be in, but we are going to continue to build that out so we have the largest lead gen library on the planet for TCs, and we're just continuing to build that out a little bit more every single month. We hope this was helpful. Let's move on to our next frequently asked TC question.